I do think the party needed to become more populist. I do think the party needed to become the party of workers. And Trump, through sheer force of personality in part, has made that vista possible. But this is my other concern with the administration is we're seeing kind of populism's false start here, because there's no populist think tank. There was no government in exile of populists just waiting to ride the wave of the Trump administration and come back into office the way that, all the former Bush people were. There are no off-the-shelf policy proposals, and there's no populist wing in Congress. So you basically have Trump himself and a relatively small circle of aides even within the White House. The populists are just a fraction of the White House staff.
But so what do you do as trying to be the sober voice in the midst of all this? How do you, since you think that's a good idea to adapt in some fashion to this populism, how does the party do that?
Well, one, and most importantly, is just keeping focusing on the interest of working class voters and moving beyond an economic policy that is just monomaniacally focused on marginal income tax cuts. So let's think about maybe cutting payroll taxes. Those are taxes that 47% that doesn't pay income taxes, and no matter how much you cut income taxes or how you structure it, you're not going to cut taxes for those folks. Maybe you should cut their taxes by cutting a tax on labor. If you're going to be the party of workers, you should be the party of encouraging and not disincentivizing labor. So I think that again, if the party's going to be more populist, that conversation should happen. Sort of the intellectual aperture and the policy aperture should open. But so far, it hasn't.